Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? So getting a little bit early start today. Just boils down to I was at a breaking point on my regular work and really didn't have time to do the next thing I needed to do. I figured I'd just go ahead and get my stream going a little bit early. Also helps, so normally I'm actually in a meeting at this time, but Wednesdays we do a little bit different. We don't have our 11 o'clock. Instead, we have a 1 o'clock. And then plus this is the time of the month. Actually, our 1 o'clock is a all afternoon meeting. So that's why I thought I'd get started a little bit early, just so I was prepped for that. Just sit around. Actually, today, I guess we're only scheduled for 3 hours, 5 minutes, which means we'll be at least 3.5 hours. We're always behind. You ever find that, it seems like the longer meeting scheduled, the more likely it's gonna go past that schedule. I don't know. And that's not really a complaint. We do cover some good stuff, and it's all leadership stuff. And I know today we're gonna be talking about campaigns for back to school, which of course for us we're still trying to figure out what that means, right? I mean, there's still a lot of uncertainty as to how and if schools are going back to the session like normal. All right, so let's get started. Let's see, what time is it? It's 11:14. I'm gonna start a little bit different today. Probably just the half day meeting. Yeah, exactly. Calvin, you're exactly right. And luckily we only do this once a month, but we do it once a month. All right, so let's get started with our normal news segments. Oh, I have to still figure out all my new buttons. No, that's not the right button. I want this button. All right, still setting up my stream deck with my new settings and gotta learn where everything's at. All right, so let's start with some news. Actually, first I want to talk, just really quick promote tomorrow's Louisville Azure meetup, where Kevin Griffin will be talking about Azure Logic Apps. Oh, sorry, forgot to close that up. That was my reminder that I'm streaming in 15 minutes. But yeah, so tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will have Kevin Griffin coming in to talk about Logic Apps and Azure Functions. Of course, this will be on Zoom because we can't meet in person, which means doesn't matter where you're coming from. You could join us, right? So definitely check that out. I mean, Kevin is does a lot of great stuff with Azure Logic Apps. I'm really curious to see this talk. I think it's gonna be a great talk. And sure enough, I mean, you see, I was last night. I mean, sure enough, that was a 5-star. Let's see here. Doing things together, meeting people, sharing a purpose. Yeah, being energized, seeing new possibilities. Feeling welcome, learning something new. Yeah. Last time was a great meetup. That was so the Tulsa .NET user group. They met last night and they had Scott Hunter join. Yes. Yes, Dave, the Azure talk will be recorded. Now, I'm going to give the caveat. I've been having some issues with Zoom recordings. I changed some settings, and hopefully I've got it all set up right. Actually, I might have to do a test run tonight, because my last couple of meetings I've recorded in Zoom just did not. So like the other night's .NET one, it only recorded audio for some reason. So I think I'm still going to post that just because you can at least listen to it. But yeah, no, the plan is to record that. So all right, so we've got that, and then sure enough, I mean, yeah, I was just talking about Scott Hunter. Scott Hunter will be at Louisville. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, about putting on Twitch. I tell you, the main reason why I haven't done it yet, and I'm just thinking about it, is just the chatting, right? I mean, if I do that, basically, speakers wouldn't necessarily, although like Kevin would definitely see it because he's on Twitch. but it'll be one more thing for chatting. So I don't know, but it's a good thing to think about. We definitely think about that before tomorrow night. So that's tomorrow night, and then like I say, June 9th, we will have Scott Hunter. June 18th, a little bit on that, we will have Michael Perry talking about ACID 2.0. And then I'm working on other scheduled things. So that was great. All right, just moving on, a couple quick news. I don't really have a whole lot of news articles I pulled out for today. Mostly, I got a late start this morning. I'm getting older. Just sometimes it's a little harder for me to get going in the morning. But I thought this was interesting. So apparently Microsoft is stating that they're still going to do Skype investments. I don't know. My biggest complaint here is, I wish Microsoft would figure out what they're going to do. I mean, when they brought up Teams, they said that that they were going to basically kill off Skype. This article doesn't talk about it, but I think basically what they've decided to do is kill off Skype for Business. That's not what they stated. And I'm cool with having both Skype and Teams. I just wish Microsoft would let us know what are you going to do. All right. So it is interesting to see that. I kind of like that. This is definitely a Skype for the consumer Skype. Yep. But so interesting to see they are still putting investments in there. I mean, a lot of people do use still Skype. I'm going to start using Skype for some things because we're actually going to be doing some interviews on this channel. We'll be interviewing Code PaLOusa speakers, and we'll be using Skype for that. So, I mean, it's good to see that they're still doing investments in it, if they're going to continue as a product. But it'd be nice to see if Microsoft could finalize what they're going to do. So I thought that article was interesting. I thought this was interesting just for the fun of it. So, I actually forgot that they have a surf game in here. So in the Microsoft Edge, there is a surf game, which you're surfing the web. Apparently now, it doesn't matter which build of Edge you can get this. So, I mean, sure enough, if you haven't seen this, we can do this and pick our surfer, and we can have all kinds of fun with this, right? And crash out like that. So sure enough, Edge, //surf, and if you got nothing better to do, you could do that. Actually, I'd be kind of curious to see a Twitch streamer Twitch this all along. Oh, you can even do it with your mouse. Well, that's interesting. All right. So anyway. Yeah, no, I agree. It is a little bit flash in the dinosaur game. All right, the last news thing I got, and this is actually pretty important. So today is, SpaceX is going to be launching Demo 2, which is going to have 2 astronauts on it. First time on U.S. soil, we've launched astronauts in was it 9 years? I think it is. Since we ended the space shuttles. So really cool to see this. Of course, all going to be live streamed. So definitely check that out if you're any type of space buff, which I think most anyone here. Actually, I know Dave Manley is, because for those that don't know, Dave is once worked for NASA. So I just think this is cool. Although it was interesting, I saw a comment that was kind of interesting, talking about maybe SpaceX should stick with cargo, because the problem is if you have a problem with cargo and you destroy cargo, it's just cargo, right? But if you have a problem with a passenger one, then you got a big problem. So I thought that was interesting, a comment. It wasn't in this article. Saw that in Twitter somewhere. But yeah, definitely check this out. It starts at what time did it say? I want to say the launch is at 4 p.m. Eastern. So launch is at 4:33 p.m. Eastern. But they're going to. When did they say they were going to start the stream? I think the actual stream starts at like 1 No, at 3 p.m. Eastern, I think it was. Yeah, 3 p.m. Oh no, that's backup times. No, I saw it in here somewhere. Yeah, so 12:15 Eastern. They'll start the coverage. That's pretty cool. Actually, you can just go to NASA.gov, I guess it is, because I was looking at that last night. Yeah, NASA.gov, and yeah, they'll have that live stream right there. I'm purposely not clicking on it because it's YouTube, and this is Twitter. I won't do that. I don't think it's a violation, but still, we'll keep the two companies, separate from each other. So that's really all I have for the news. Like I said, I kind of got a late start. I didn't get to read as much news as I wanted to this morning. But there's that. All right, so we're going to be going back working on Code PaLOusa sessions. Sure enough, if you were watching yesterday, I didn't get anywhere farther than what I was doing yesterday. Just really boils down to I was busy yesterday. But I really am trying to get this wrapped up and by the weekend, so that at the very latest on Monday we can actually launch, update the website and launch with all the sessions. Because what I found, and it's definitely being the example, I mean, we haven't sold a whole lot of tickets since we reopened tickets, but I found most people don't buy tickets until they see the schedule. Which, hey Douglas, how's it going? Which I definitely agree with, right? I mean, I completely understand that. It's actually why we're not doing. We kind of canceled the idea of early bird pricing this year, but I mean, we were doing it until we had to change things. That's why I just released a price, and then knowing it really not going to sell much tickets until we get the schedule put up, and it makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna go back in here. So yesterday, when I stopped on this, if I find my schedule builder, and again, just to show everyone who hasn't been on here so far. So here's what you can start seeing here. I've basically filled out the workshop day. Actually, we do need to go ahead and put in Douglas's workshop. I got that confirmed today. That'll be right here. There we go. 3 hours for that. And there we go. Douglas, now you know exactly what time you're speaking. At least for on Wednesday. So there, there's that. I do still have this half day open, but I have that open for have it open for a reason. Yeah, I did pick the JavaScript one because I'll tell you, which I'm open for this, but I thought it would be, a little bit more accessible. There's a reason why I picked the JavaScript one. But sure enough, tell me. I mean, sure enough. So binary chef is the speaker for that one. Still haven't got to me yet. No, I have not. And reason being, so this is actually the workshop day. So here, I'll go ahead and save that. I haven't gotten very far on the regular days. And what I do is I schedule the requirement talks first, and then I go to the project management and QA talks. Then I start scheduling everything out. And I do that because pretty much find most of the people, so for my project managers and business analysts and such, which I don't get a whole lot, but for those who do come in, most of those are, they really are looking at the same set of talks. So I try to make sure we don't have, if we have conflicts, it makes sense we have conflicts. Just have to cut the version I did in line and a half. I've done that before. At least you have some knowledge beforehand. I think this was my mistake, but for Music City Code last year, I was doing my my graph database workshop, which I've built it as a full day workshop. I don't know if I submitted it wrong or Music City decided to schedule it differently, but it schedules a half-day workshop. And I didn't realize that till like the week before. So nothing like taking it was a 7-hour workshop and I had to make it 3 hours. That was fun. Right? That was fun. I gotta admit, I did not do the best job in that one. Although, I mean, everyone seemed to like the workshop. I mean, okay, 4 hours. Yeah, I couldn't remember it was 3 or 4 hours. But yeah, so that's basically I had 7 hours of content, and I kind of had to shrink mine down. And I'll say the problem I had was we ended up not being as hands-on as some of the people would have liked, and I agreed with them. And I actually told everyone, well, look, here, you know, I should post everything so that they could see everything afterwards. So, all right, let me just check one thing off screen here real quick, because okay, yeah, I just want to make sure something was working. All right. Still trying to get used to the new affiliate stuff. All right. What did I want to do? Okay, so what I was working on yesterday, so we've got, I mean, you can start seeing the, yes, you can start tweeting it now. Chris, I don't know how I did it so quickly. I think I got lucky. I think more than anything else. That and I mean, sure enough. I mean, I'm tweeting. I mean, I'm streaming every day. I think that is part of what made the difference. But all right. So you can start seeing. I have business analysts. You can see. So like Dave Manley, because I know he was in the chat. I've got his schedule. His session scheduled. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think that keeping the numbers up is hard. I would say. And yeah, well, sure enough. Douglas, I swear I forgot your name for a second. I'll be curious. So, Douglas, what time do you stream? Because I'll be curious to see that. Your new branding, I should say. All right. So I was saying I got these scheduled. All right. Let me. What I was. So this is those. I think I've got all the. That should be all the requirements. Yeah, except for these two are marked as requirements, but they really are not for business analysts. Let's just put it that way. So that would be that. Project management. Okay, the only one I have left on project management. But I haven't followed it. You know, I was kind of funny. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to stick to this lunchtime stream thing. So far, I've been able to do it. It's worked pretty well. A couple days I've been hungry because I'm honestly not going to eat on the stream. Although, like yesterday, I went into my 1 o'clock meeting and I was eating, but I turned off my camera. All right, so now I've got all the ones that are project management. We've got all the ones that are whatchamacallit, requirements. So now let's start looking at soft skills. And soft skills, so this gets a little bit more easier the way how I end up doing this. In that we So this is more for everyone. So I'm pretty much just trying to schedule these all the way across. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've got 15. So we will have more than one per some of the sessions, which is okay. All right, now I need to look. So there's something about Dustin. I need to make sure because I know Dustin has some concerns about presenting online. He was going to tweak some of the stuff. Hold on, let me look at this comment I have from him yesterday. Okay, yeah. Okay. So we're not going to schedule the Dustin ones because he's actually got concerns of how to do those, and he's not the only one. So we're just going to start off here, and some of this kind of gets random. Some of this I'll end up moving around once we get this, once I see things. So diversity is much more living. I do love the title. Is living in tech as a Latino who can't dance. That's a good title. Let's actually schedule that. I think that's a good right after lunch talk. There we go. Whoops, not 55 minutes. So those who have not seen Sessionize before, why? That's 60 minutes. Why? Oh, there we go. It wasn't lining up. So those who haven't seen it, what Sessionize does is always defaults to whatever the last session you set, how long it was. So we'll do that at 1:30. Short-term sacrifices for long-term success. Okay, so sure enough, Richard Ticha, he's a guy who's kind of a little bit better to get in the mornings. Actually works better for his scheduling. I'm actually move this to a Tuesday or Friday morning. That would be a good time for that. Government regulations in the age of AI and digital transformations. I'm going to come back to that one. Knowing your limitations. Visions, agile leadership for introverts. Okay, I want this leadership for introverts earlier in the day because I don't necessarily want it first thing of the day. I think that's going to be a good talk. I think we're going to see a lot of folks who will. Yeah, it's part of what I'm trying to figure out is, because hopefully we will have more folks from different time zones. But someone comes up to some way, just I have to schedule things. I'm gonna leave that there. It's only an hour. Yeah. I don't know. But you bring up a good point. All right. So sure enough. All right. Now, one thing I do try to make sure I don't schedule people twice in the same day. So like Allison got another talk from her. So let's go ahead and schedule her in the afternoon. I will say one of the other interesting parts about this year is everything is being recorded. And as long as the speaker allows us to include that in the archive, and some speakers are not allowing it, which is fine. But so most of the sessions will be in the archive, so it's not like you actually have to watch it live, right? Or more importantly, if I have 2 or 3 sessions I want to attend in 1 hour, that's okay because I can watch the one I really want to watch the most and watch the others on the replays, which will be nice. All right. Now, what I don't know, because I'm sure someone's going to ask, is how quickly I can get into replays. There's an option for, can I see how it goes first? Chris, I gotta admit, I'm not sure. Yeah, we will be collecting stats on replays. So, and I haven't figured out exactly how I'm gonna work everything out, but we'll, so sure enough, on replays, what I'm gonna be doing is we'll be making updates to the Code PaLOusa website that'll allow for replays, which make sure the new talk doesn't bomb. I was mostly joking. I mean, sure enough, here's my thought. Number one, my thoughts generally when it comes to scheduling. Well, let me first talk about what I was talking about. Now I'll get to what Chris is talking about here. So sure enough, we're going to be updating the website, as intended, which means you'll have two different you won't necessarily have two different logins. Actually, you will. But I forgot why the dog is barking in the background. But maybe my dog's getting ready to take from a walk. He loves his walks. But we will update. We're going to be using Azure Media Services and Azure CDNs. That will allow us to stream everything after the fact. And sure enough, from there, I can actually collect metrics, and we will probably create something, whether it be, I don't know, it might be I send emails every once in a while. Hey, here's like your latest metrics to the speakers, or maybe we'll provide a page that they can go to. I'm not sure about that. But to what Freestyle Coder's been talking about, and so he's saying he's mostly joking, and I think some of that, I think some imposter syndrome's kicking in, and I know they're feeling well, but here's my general thought about talks, about presentations. Number one, I mean, as a speaker, especially ones that have been around, I think we are pretty much expected. If we submit something, we do them, right? With that being said, and I truly do mean this. If a speaker was to come to me and say, this talk is just, even if it was the week before the Code PaLOusa, this talk is just not working out. All right, I've been building it and it's just not working out. I'm not going to force them to do it because, and the reason is because I'd rather them come to me beforehand and say, hey, this isn't working out. Can we either scratch it or can we look at doing something else? I actually rather do that than them not be comfortable at all doing the talk. Because you're more likely to bomb it then, right? Now, with it being said, I would be caution with when it's just, again, the imposter syndrome kicking in and people just worried that a talk's not working well when most likely it will. So, all right. So with that, let's get back to this. All right, I'm just looking at some others in here. So, okay. So I've got Allison scheduled, so she's not conflicting with herself. Although it is nice, if I move this back. So again, for those who haven't seen Sessionize before, it is nice if I schedule her for the same time. It does show it to me in red, which is really, really nice. So I know, it makes it easier to see that. It's actually really cool. I didn't even realize it was doing this. It'll show it to me in yellow if I do it back to back, which I really do appreciate that because, not like I've never scheduled someone at the same time or back to back. And yes, I have done that. All right. So, all right. So recruiters suck, use them. That actually, I like that more as a, no, you know what I want? I want Actually, I want this a little bit earlier in the day. This before lunch would make sense. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've done it by accident. You know, luckily, actually, I think the one I mostly did it to was Phil Japiski, and he definitely let me know. Phil's such a quiet person, but no, he definitely let me know when I did that wrong, and I fixed it. Right? I mean, that was easy enough to fix, and I've done it a couple times. All right, so put that. All right, the burnout one. I love it. We had several talks about burnout, and it was really great to see that. It was interesting. Okay, let me go ahead. I'm gonna schedule Santosh right before lunch. I think that's a good time for that one. So like I said, I was at the Tulsa user group last night, and with Scott Hunter, and there was some talks about how they've moved some .NET 5 stuff out to .NET 6, and which they announced last week. They told MVPs that a week or two before that, and it basically said, well, it's because of basically quarantine work is not the same thing as remote work from home. Which definitely that's something we're seeing in our team right now. We're in the middle of dealing with that, even though we're remote from home. We're remote 100% of the time. But the interesting part that what Scott was talking about last night, he said that what they're seeing is they're seeing burnout on their developers, and the good part is they're seeing burnout from folks who aren't even saying they're getting burnout. They're just noticing it. And the more interesting part, and I didn't think about this, and of course I don't have this situation in my place, but they were saying it was worse with their single developers, developers who aren't married and such, because they just don't have anything else to do, so all they do is work. And he said he's seen plenty of those folks working 12, 15-hour days, and that's not what they want them doing. So it was really interesting to hear that. I am promoting something I run, but definitely I highly recommend you come to the June 9th Louisville.net meetup with Scott Hunter. Because boy, he did all his demos and everything, but then afterwards, we went to an extended question and answer, and he really gave a whole lot of inside knowledge into Microsoft. It was really good to hear all that. All right, so I put Allison's Power Loving Padawans, which of course is more of a mentoring talk. We have another mentoring talk. Try to do those in different days. We try to get the schedule more equal around things. Let's see here. Potential sellers with open source. I'm gonna move that here, and I'm gonna put him more in the afternoon, and that is part of because of time zones. So it's non-traditional path to career in software. I'm gonna actually put that a little bit earlier in the day. Calvin, I think I see where you're going with that. I mean, I just can't get into blogging. I keep on saying I want to blog more, and I just can't get into it. Part of my problem is that every time I blog, I end up writing book chapters instead of a blog article. But I really like, I've been having a lot of fun doing this right? Now, granted, I mean, today we're just building a schedule, but like like over the weekend, I was rebuilding up my stream. So some of these looks you're seeing everything, and I was doing that streaming. I was just having a blast doing that. Right, it was just a lot of fun. I was sharing along. You got the chat going on, which so you get to go back and forth with some folks. Thank you. I really do like this. I gotta say, I didn't build this. I mean, I put the actual end up layout, but I did hire an artist to design things because my art skills are very limited. All right, let me try to at least get these done. Okay, so I've got two of Richard teach out. So let's go ahead. We'll actually go ahead. This will be a double session here. Yeah, I'm getting ready to start learning more on Premiere, Adobe Premiere, and After Effects and such. Because I can start. I'm getting ready to start producing some YouTube videos. Hopefully next week. I'm gonna start. It won't be published by next week. Hopefully next week I will start working on them. Because really I got to get the schedule done. Now I can start working. So I wanted to do that. Yeah, definitely. I've watched some videos on how to do video thumbnails correctly. Some interest. Definitely check that out. Right, there's some definite good information about that. How to make ones that will really stand out. All right, this one we'll stick this here. Actually, hold on. I don't want. No, that would be a good point. Oh, no, let's actually stick this. So here's where it gets tough, trying to figure out where is the right place for things. And some of this goes into, I mean, some of it, like on those non-traditional paths, right? So no guarantee, but good chance that the Code Louisville will be a Code PaLOusa sponsor again this year. Generally, it all matters whether or not they can clear some money for it. But I definitely want because this could be. Well, okay, yeah. No, I was trying to figure out where I want this. I actually am going to put this on the second day because you also want to help. And grant you, I mean, yes, that is something that promotes their business, right? But their business is getting, is providing free education to people to get in the software industry. I thought, how many talks do I have from each out? I thought I already scheduled 2 of his talks. Yeah, actually, we only have 1. With 1 being Q. No, that's definitely not okay. Okay, never mind. I just read some things. and which also meant, so Kara Lugan is awesome. She's a JavaScript developer. She actually presented her first time last year at CodeStock, and she did an amazing job. I met her last year at CodeStock because I was on a panel about speaking. And she was the person on the panel who was the first time speaking type thing. So I don't want, okay, sure enough, I don't want these back to back because that doesn't make sense. They're both talks that talk about getting started in your career. But I do think we will put that earlier in the day because it's a good session for folks that are, I mean, we do get a lot of new folks. All right. I see. I've got this session period. I've got 2 session periods without this something scheduled. So this here, which I thought I already did that actually, and then that there. Okay, and then like I said, I can't schedule Dustin's stuff yet because he's trying to figure some things out. And it really boils down to I think he's only gonna do 1 talk, and basically something different. I don't know. I need to. He's still young, still trying to figure his way through everything, but he's a really good speaker. I would say definitely check him out. Really interesting background. He was a bomb tech for the Army, so EOD. And now he does DevOps for Del Toro. All right, so that gets us our soft skills. I think, what else am I missing here? Okay, I need to do quality assurance and user experience. Like I said, I do all the non-pure developer talks, and then I go back. He does have some really good analogies. So he did a talk. Actually, here I'm gonna actually talk to him more about this. I'm gonna talk to him in person, but I'm gonna say this: if and again, it is really whether they're comfortable about presenting, because again, it's a different situation. This talk right here. So he did this for Louisville.net. So in January for Louisville.net, we do a little bit different things. And for this past January, we did a speaker idol, right? And so I had 5 speakers do, I forget if they were 5 or 10-minute talks. I think they were 10-minute talks. And he was one of the speakers who spoke. I know it was 10-minute talks. And he did this talk, right? And I mean, he just really grabbed everyone's attention, right? I mean, it was just an amazing talk. And it really is relating, EOD to software development and DevOps in particular. He talked a lot about how much you practice in EOD, so that, when you actually do it, it's second nature, because of course the whole thing is one mistake and you're done for, right? Really great talk. He won the speaker idol. Rightfully so. And it was so funny. He at the end of his talk, because I think he could tell, because the crowd was really appreciative. You're really into it, and he even said, "I don't care what position, what place I get in this. I'm not accepting the prize money, because we were giving gift cards out." And I said, instead, what I ask is to give that money to forget the exact name of the organization, but basically an organization, you know, a fund to support EOD folks who, you know, the families of EOD folks who died in action. And it was fun. He won, and first prize was a $100 gift card, Amazon gift card. And I told him, I said, you have to take this $100 gift card. I'm not giving you the choice. And I'm gonna donate $100 to, you know, to the fund, because that makes a lot of sense for me. Yeah, so really good guy. All right. So now next I'm gonna do quality assurance. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I have less than I have session periods. So now we just start figuring out where things fall along. And some are not. I mean, I have a hard part here about quality assurance. Not all of them are pure quality assurance. Like this is, well, this is. I sometimes look at unit testing here, which is quality assurance, but it's not really the same thing I'm looking for. But all right, so we got test automation, so we definitely want to make sure those are not back to back and such. React Native CI rehab. That's not a pure testing talk. Scalability, accessibility, sustainable accessibility, I should say. TDD is my shame. So here's what I was talking about. This is not for testers. This is for developers. Testing your APIs with Postman and Newman. Science of testing. Unit testing with ease. Word smart. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I went to science testing. I think this is going to be a really good talk. I'm going to put it right here. I think that's a good place for that. More like software development. No, I mean, I get that too. You know, one of the parts I like about being an architect, I get to spend, or at least that part of my job, is I get to spend more time playing with new technologies. All right, actually, I want to put this over here. Oh, put them over here, just so I see them separately from each other. Just trying to figure out where I want to schedule things. Okay, so like I said, we had I've got, I think somewhere here, Amanda Perkins. Okay. I thought maybe I had someone with multiple things. To get to a baseline needed to contribute. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree completely. All right, let's go ahead. And this does make sense to have this after there's a talk about the science of testing. We'll have that. Go ahead and put this right here. This should be at 9:45. A professional explainer. I like that. I like that label. I like that a lot. I might borrow that at some point. I like that. I really do like that. Is Word Smarter? I think I'm going to do this more later in the day on Friday. And you know, I'm also looking at, like, what did I schedule in these? You call copyright? No, I would definitely. I mean, I would not use that as a. I mean, admittedly, I wouldn't use it as as my branding. That's for sure. Um, and I would definitely attribute that uh, to you. You know, because just like I mean, sure enough, I talk a lot about recently. I've been talking a lot about quarantine coding, and sure enough, that wasn't my idea. That's actually Scott Hanselman came up with that thought of how it's not the same thing, and so when I go on my rants about that, I do try to attribute that to who at least I first saw it from. Now, whether they stole it from someone else, you know, it's I can only. I agree with the Creative Commons to a point, right? Um, and I'll say this: I mean, sure enough, if you actually like if that became part of your stick, right? Calling yourself a professional explainer, and that was part of how you introduced yourself. I wouldn't necessarily want to, go and copy that around, right? Just like so, I've taken this tail learn code and I'm building it out, and trying to, you know, and my plan is when I mean, I'm not going to call myself Taylor and Code, but when I do get to present again, I do plan on yeah, exactly, the revenue streams. But I do plan on like using the look and feel that I've been building out for all this, right? So keeping that branding going. But no, I mean, but at the same rate, the Creative Commons I think does have a good place in what we do too. So, all right. Just keeping up with this. So unit testing with ease. I don't want to schedule it too early because Dwayne is a little bit west of here. And that's part, I mean, that's part of what I'm trying to also pay attention to. Yeah, exactly. I definitely agree with, closed source versus open source. It's interesting, seeing more and more news about um, Microsoft and the whole, all they did back in the 80s and 90s, to protect their assets. And of course, I mean, because you had, like Ballmer saying how open source was a cancer and everything, and now people, of course, you got multiple sides of this, and people are trying to are trying to say, it made sense for the time, which I actually agree with that argument. But yeah, I mean, long story short, I definitely do think that there is a purpose for both, right? Um, all right. I, so is detox? Is that a testing framework? I gotta admit, I don't actually know. Yes, okay, it's a testing framework. Okay, cool. Um, yeah. Well, in part because I mean they bought some things that they have to keep. Um, There we go. About the wing it thing. I gotta admit, I don't know about the wing it thing. Oh, the wing it. I read that wrong. No, I read it wrong. I read it as wing it, or the wing it. And I was like, I don't know what the wing it. It's the way how I read it. I gotta admit, so I haven't heard anything. Maybe I missed something, you know. Discussions with the creator of apt-get. Oh, well now, okay, now you got my curiosity going. Here, let me make sure I save my changes. So no, enough, Calvin. I'm gonna have to, you know, I'm gonna have to look into that. Oh. Oh. Moderator, you're a little bit too. You're a little bit too. I apologize for you two getting timed out. Hold on. Sometimes this thing gets a little bit too crazy. And I definitely didn't want all those messages deleted. And I gotta admit, how do you... on Twitch. I gotta admit, I don't know how. Wow. I apologize for you guys getting timed on that. It's not really what I meant for it. I definitely didn't mean for that to happen. Especially, for heaven's sakes, that was a little bit too draconian. Well, I need to. Thing is, you know, it's hard because you definitely don't. Actually, you know, this really does bring up a point. I think what I want to do. Let's go into stream elements. Let's actually make a change in the fly here. Because that isn't, I mean, seeing this, you know, these 25 and, you know, 20 messages deleted, that's not what I wanted at all. Let's see here. Not modules. Well, this is really what I'm looking for either. Here we go. This is probably what I'm looking for. You know, I'm actually going to take that off. That at least takes care of that. I just have to watch my stream for when people put stuff in there we don't want. That's not what I want. Actually, can I only do it for, I don't know what the definition of a regular is. I need to look that up. That's not what I'm looking for. I was also looking for how I could. I don't know how you untime out somebody. No, well, Sean got it figured out before I did. Thank you, sir. Citriac, can you also do that for Douglas, who also got timed out? And then I did go in there, and so, yeah, exactly. I did. Okay, cool. I did turn off that link protection. That's just, I just don't like that. Right? I mean, that's too much. I think that makes sense if you're a bigger Twitch streamer, you know, and yeah. But still, I think for the size of my stream and you know, most everyone that really comes on here are really, you know, although like was yesterday, the day before, we had some trolls, which was it was Monday, and it was just annoying. It was so annoying, right? I mean, I had two trolls at the same time, and you know, now I mean, they didn't post any links or anything. So I get why you put those protections on, although they didn't stop all that. I just had to go and ban them. But like I say, I apologize for that, because to me that's not good for the community. I get why those are in there and why it's turned on by default. All right, so I've got my quality assurance stuff put in. That's where we're at. The next thing I want to do, I remember, I think I'm skipping one more session before I just start scheduling everything else. Track. Oh, user experience. That's what I'm forgetting. All right. So now we have our user experience, which we did get. I tell you, this is a good number. Oh, cool. Thank you. No, you just missed some people getting banned. That's all. So here, let me go ahead and open up Twitter. I see that coming in. Cool. All right. Long week. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how many seconds that is. You can do all that by seconds. I don't know how much a day is. I don't know how much a week is. All right. So it's good. We actually did get a good number of accessibility and user design talks. I was really happy to see that. Oh, yes. I get it now. Still, you have to figure out how many that is in seconds. All right. So let's go ahead and start scheduling these. Actually, let me just go and squeeze some things in. Actually, the hard part. On Thursday, I still need to put in my overall ones. Actually builds up these. It's a little bit easier to schedule these. I'm just getting everything moved over. The one nice thing about having an online conference, 604,000. Thank you so much. No, you can link now. Or you should be able to link that. Let's put it that way. Turn that off. All right. I tell you, one nice thing I don't have to worry about this year is I don't have to worry about room sizes, which is really nice. You know, because you look at like the Hyatt, and some rooms can only fit like 40 people. Other rooms fit 120 people. Yes, I use Bing. Why not? Works well for me. Although that was the funny thing. Everyone was so surprised last night. Scott Hunter was looking something up, and he Googled something. And everyone was so surprised to see Scott Hunter go to Google. All right. Did I put something on the schedule yet? No. Okay, that's right. I did. That's a testing thing we scheduled earlier because the two people doing this talk is actually coming from Turkey. We need to make sure we schedule them early. Yeah, well, I've been using. I've never had a problem with the older Edge. Actually, the biggest problem I had with the original Edge was when it first came out. Too many sites were sniffing the browser agents or the user agent, I should say, and giving me bad HTML because they were thinking they were giving it to IE. All right. So actually, I need to schedule Martine because Martine we've got scheduled 3 times. She's just awesome. So we need to make sure we don't do her back to back, and I give her some time in between. Also, don't want to schedule Martine first thing in the morning. Martine is definitely a later in the day type person. So I got typesetting the CSS. Sprinkle vast greatness into your so SVGs and I'm architecting for accessibility. I want this architect for accessibility right after lunch. And then let's see here. Next thing I want. Got that. I think we'll do this typesetting. Those right for lunch. And then this third one, SVGs. We'll do it at this slot. There we go. This is the one time where I'll have someone speaking twice in one day. Sometimes you got to do it because the speaker's only available for one day. All right, so build a secure user authentication story, which is a little bit skirting whether it's a UI or not. Go ahead and schedule this. I happen to know Johnny is an early body, although he's going to hang around the whole time. Johnny works for me. That's why I know pretty well about him. All right, what time I already scheduled Kara. I scheduled her. Yeah, can't see it very well. That's the hard part about this scheduler. It kind of squishes some things. Just curious if I do full screen, it still squishes them pretty bad. Sometimes when I do it full screen, I can get a little bit more of a better view, but not that one. Not that time, at least I should say. I don't remember what time I scheduled her. And I need to make sure I don't schedule her for the same times. time did we schedule this talk? Thursday at 9:45. Okay, so we're going to schedule her on Friday. Where'd that talk go? Here it is. This is actually the talk I saw her do last year. Great talk. Okay. Record linking with duplicate data in ML. That's not a user experience talk. Or, and I should say this. I mean, so speakers, they mark their topics, and I don't want to disparage what the speakers are saying. It's just I'm looking for, if I'm a pure user experience person, right? That's probably, record linkage and duplicate data is not a session I'm looking for. I'm trying to schedule those, so I build a good schedule for those type of people. Oh, there I went. Okay. And sure enough, I'm just going to go ahead and schedule this in there. All right. So now I've got everything else. And this is where this gets a little bit harder. All right, let me again just consolidate over. Because now it's not a matter of not a matter of making sure I don't have conflicting topics. Yeah, you want to be in the main stage? So at the moment, I'm not putting anything in the main stage other than like the keynote obviously was in the main stage. And then all the session breaks are. But I'm not moving anything else to that right now. Thank you. But eventually we might move 1 or 2 sessions in there if I see it's going to be a bigger thing, something I want to highlight. All right. So now what I want to see. Okay. Now where this is a little harder is, so next thing I want to do, because now I was trying to get a good schedule and also not have too many topics of the same topic itself together. But what I want to look at is my Java talks, which unfortunately when I search for Java, I also get JavaScript. So I'm looking here. Actually, I could have just done this over here. I just remembered this one's gotten a whole lot better. Oh, it's good. And this is also looking at the tags. Okay, good. So yeah, so we don't get a whole lot of Java talks. So we definitely want to make sure we get those scheduled and get those spread out. And then, and then again, I have to look to make sure I'm, again, not trying to keep the other ones that are not Java. Yeah, we did get a 1 or 2 Kotlin talks, which I was happy to see that. So all right, So this one, blockchain, which is not really, it's not Java specific. Java, the non-enterprise parts, Kotlin, Lambdas. Okay, it's got JavaScript. That's why it's picking that one up. JavaScript. I think it really depends on where it is, where it gets submitted. But you know what? Well, so here's the thing. But I think the ones who are really interested in Kotlin are the Android developers. I know our Android developer just loves Kotlin, and you know he's basically said he doesn't want to go in. You know, he doesn't want to go back from Kotlin. And my understanding is that it is definitely, it has definitely taken over the Android development world. I mean, not to say you have to use it. But definitely that's where people are really enjoying it. Yeah, no, I agree. Kotlin's greater than Java. I mean, I haven't done anything with Kotlin yet. I want to. I want to. One of these days, once I ever get a chance, I'm gonna probably do like a Pluralsight thing. I mean, I'm assuming there's something good on Pluralsight for Kotlin. I don't know why can't Pluralsight just keep me logged in? Yeah, 59 results. I want to learn a little bit about Kotlin. Yeah, just because I hear so many good things about it. I don't want to be developing Android apps. I don't know. So someone says there's a good Xamarin one in here. I don't know. I can't imagine what binary Chef might be talking about. And of course, it's not coming up quickly. Here we go. Here, we can just... So sure enough, for those on... I didn't know you could follow speakers in here. Oh. And I have no problem promoting folks on the chat. I mean, so sure enough, Douglas Starnes, you know, he does have his Pluralsight stuff. You know, Douglas, I would love to talk to you some point. I would love to hear your thoughts about Maui. That's what I would love to hear, right? You know, I'd love to hear, someone who's big into Kotlin. I mean, sorry, big into Xamarin. What their thoughts about Maui are. Your site for Maui? Tell you what. Well, I'll talk to you offline. I mean, it's great for. I mean, keep it up. Yeah. Didn't want to stop the chat there, but actually, Doug, I've been meaning I need to send you some other things, anyways. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you something particular about Maui, but I'm not gonna do it right now. But there you go, Sean. You got someone else you can name drop. Oh, for those who don't, I give Sean a hard time about name dropping. Good part is he gets it. He laughs. You know, he understands I'm laughing with him. Really? Is that on meetup.com? Oh, Houston, Xamarin, and any distance. From Crips. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I might. What time is this at? 6:30, so 7:30 my time. I just might try to attend that. Attend online. Yeah, because like I said, I am curious to see, more or hear more about what people think. So interesting. So Douglas, you're saying, or I think it was Douglas who said that how he predicted Maui several years ago. I wouldn't say I predicted it, that's for sure, but it makes sense. It makes perfect sense for Microsoft to do it. I gotta say, I'm not a front end person. I really don't want to work on the front end. I was excited when I saw Microsoft announce that at the summit. That really got me excited because it was, I just saw it as something really great for Microsoft. I think it makes a ton of sense. Some of the demos that Scott Hunter was doing last night were really cool about what you could do with it. So, all right, let me get back to this. So, all right, go ahead and do that one there. I'm gonna put Rhoda near the end of the day. Some of this is really just kind of, putting these where they potentially make sense. Yeah, you can do it all in VS Code. Personally, I still like using regular Visual Studio. I do more. I use Visual Code more for working with like individual files and such. But admittedly, a lot of that comes more from just I've been doing it for so long. I've been doing Visual Studio for so long. I just like the other way better. All right. Oh no, and just same way I'm not knocking VS Code, right? I agree with you. And definitely, I see people who have really gotten really used to it using VS Code. And I think you actually you probably are. I think you can be more efficient in VS Code once you get to know all that stuff. But I don't know. I guess I'm just so used to the other way. All right, I'm just making sure that I've got the actual Java sessions. Should be all of them. At least to somehow mention Java in there. That's what it boils down to. All right. So that gets me that session. What time is it? 12:38. All right, I'm doing good in time. So now comes the hard part. It's just getting everything else scheduled. Actually, I need to look up Wish there was an easy way for me to look up where people are coming from. Because that is definitely a concern I have to do. Let's see here. Nope, that's not going to help me. I have a Filipino coming from Europe. And I'm trying to... Of course, I can't find it now. Let's see here. Yeah, so Chris, I just need to worry about 1 hour. I'm trying to worry about the ones who will be coming from Europe. Oh, hold on. So there's Hank. Okay. Okay, so I've got... Oh, because I got session open. That's why. Well, freestyle code is a special case. There is no question about that. So sure enough, let's get Hank scheduled. This is someone we want to make sure we schedule in the morning because of time differences. And all right, so I've got that. And the other thing I want to do on 11 a.m. First, I got to remember where. Yeah, Netherlands. So right now it's 6:40. Yeah, CET. $11 a.m. is 5 p.m. Let's actually get Hank scheduled in this period here. That way he's speaking before, before dinner time. Oh, the Europeans do usually eat their dinner a little bit later, but still. All right, so we've got that one in here. I'm gonna find this other. The wrong thing. I want to find this other gentleman. I recognize him from his picture. Here we go. This one. I guess it doesn't search because I searched for Filipino, but I guess it doesn't search for their whatchamacallit. I think it's because we wanted to be in Eastern time. I think that's why we're in Eastern time. All right. And I got to admit, I'm still trying to imagine a Filipino in Norway. So, but definitely. So we will schedule this one here. Actually, go ahead and schedule them first thing in the morning. First thing our morning. All right, cool. That gets, pretty sure that's all my non-US based folks. Actually, I want to go to speakers. One, accepted talk. Okay, yeah. It is funny. I've been running this long enough. I know most of these folks firsthand. So I can look at their picture and remember where most of these folks come from. This, yeah, if I remember this guy, I also need to put earlier in the day. I believe he was from, oh no, he's from Ontario. No, I'm thinking someone else. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So, sure enough, I just have a couple more sessions to schedule. These are all my development talks. No, I don't want a Java talk at the same time I have a Kotlin talk. That doesn't make sense. As a reminder, I have a meeting in 15 minutes for 4 hours. Oh, I love 4-hour meetings. Who is giving this Kotlin talk? Actually, I do not know this gentleman. Okay, I only worry about time zones. So I'm going to let's actually move this one 1:30 and then move the Kotlin talk right before the keynote. Because I don't want that at the same time as the Java talk, that's for sure. All right. And sure enough, I think I'm gonna stop at that point. So I can make something quick to eat before my meeting. All right, let's who we got? Who we got on Twitch right now? Code Rush is there. Microsoft developers there. Let's see who's on. Who's on for live coders? Battle bots. What are we doing here? No description of what we're doing. Let's go over to Code Rush. That should be a good one. Always a fun Twitch stream. All right, I really appreciate everyone joining me today. I'm probably working more on the schedule tonight, which means I might start another live stream tonight. Although I definitely want to try to attend that Houston meetup. With that, but hope everyone has a great day. Thanks, everybody.
Right now, welcome everybody. Taylor and Code, how are you guys doing? How was your stream? We're kind of right now, kids, trying to get a background canvas, an off-screen canvas to work. We're trying to learn and figure out